Okay, so Trevor and I want to talk about, you've completed the challenge. What do you do now?
And this could even really be anything, right? It could be, I just went through this sprint of really dialing things in. I just went through 21 days, 28 days, really dialing things in, getting some good results. Maybe it was before a vacation, or before a big event, a wedding, things like that. Like, what do you do next? So, let's say, Ashley, you're consulting with someone that just finished a challenge. They saw great results. They lost 15 pounds. They're fitting into jeans that they haven't fit in for years, and they're feeling really good. Mental clarity is there. How do you advise this person on like what to do next?
Okay, so this challenge was 6 weeks. So what I would do with this person is I'd look to see how many no days they had in this challenge.
Okay.
If they were at that, what did we do? 85%, 80% for this challenge? I would ask them if they believe that's maintainable for long-term success.
Mm-hmm.
If their goal is still weight loss at this point, we want to be where we're still losing weight. So I'd want to see like those things continue. Basically, if you were on the challenge, and I think whatever the percentage was, it was 5 days. You could say no 5 days and still get your compliance correctly. So if we're thinking 6 weeks and you could say no 5 times, that basically means you can only have 1 day of non-compliant per week. And is that obtainable for you? And I think like really that's where a lot of people struggle. And I think like you've done this for 6 weeks, can you keep it going? Not necessarily if you're going on vacation, but when you're at home, can you maintain this where you're only having a treat day once a week?
Right. And that's one of the reasons we run the challenges. We don't run them in a way where you're doing this unsustainable thing for 6 weeks. And then all of a sudden when you're done with the challenge, it's like, oh, I'm done. And then I just go back to eating and doing the things I was doing before, because like ultimately you're going to get what you got before. Like the body will just naturally fall back into that state pretty quickly. And so my advice is usually just like you continue doing what you continue doing what you're currently doing. It's just maybe we get a little bit, maybe instead of like one cheat meal or one treat meal every 2 weeks, you do it once a week, or maybe you add in a dessert a couple other times during the week, or you add in a few other extras. Maybe you really like wine and you add in wine a couple nights of the week. But then you're very cognizant of checking in every couple weeks and seeing like, all right, did I continue to lose weight? Did I continue to move in the direction that I wanted to go? If you did, great, continue on the path. If you didn't, now you know that was maybe a little too much for you, and then you need to dial it back. So it's really paying attention to the results that you're getting and what you're willing to invest or give up.
Well, yeah, and a couple people have done challenges before, and this one seemed to be very successful for them. It seemed like everything kind of got in place for them, and they were very successful. So instead of just being like, okay, you're here, let's fall back. Well, let's do weigh-ins every 2 weeks. So now you have a space to be accountable and to do a weigh-in and know that I'm going to be looking at it because this is what we decided we're going to do. So now if you slide 2 weeks, we're going to see that really quick, and we're not waiting every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks to see the change. We can catch it really quickly.
Right.
And if your goal is weight loss, getting on the scale every week here isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No, because the scale isn't telling us anything good or bad. It's giving us feedback in what our behaviors are doing and how that's affecting the goals that we're trying to accomplish. And so it's trying to be very objective with that kind of data and using it as a tool because ultimately it's our behaviors that get us the results. And so the scale or the body count machine is really just some data to know if those are the correct behaviors or if I'm doing those behaviors consistently enough in order to get me to my desired result. And another cool thing for some people, maybe they lose 15 pounds in a challenge or in a short period of time, and now they're ready to just kind of maintain. And so that's the other thing, is figuring out what does maintenance look like for you. How do you kind of keep your weight? How do you keep your body fat percentage in this range over the long term? And that's where doing these ellipticals that just came in, doing these body comps every couple weeks just like keeps you on track for that. And then you can check in and see, like, is what I'm doing sustainable long term? And is it getting me what I want to get? So ultimately it's looking at your behaviors very clear-eyed in an honest way, and then using data to see, like, are those the correct behaviors and am I doing them?
And that's why I think it's also important when you're doing the challenge to not try and be 100% on the challenge. I think like using the treat days that you have on the challenge and marking no those days is also important, because we get so focused on being perfect and all of these things, where like then we're like, we feel guilty, or we have all these emotions after we have these days where we mark red. But like in our real life, there's days that we're just gonna mark red. Like, I won't lie, someone brought us cupcakes today, and I'm pretty sure that I've eaten a cupcake and a half already. They're delicious, by the way. But like, it's okay. Like, I'm not gonna go work out because I had a cupcake. I'm not gonna do those things. Like, so knowing like someone brings something in is gonna be a treat. It's okay to have the treat, and then, well, because of that, maybe I won't have something else later this week because I chose that.
Right. So it's understanding like the treats as well. Like, they're not happening every single day or on a really frequent basis. It's being very honest about it happening, and then maybe choosing certain ones over another one. So rather than having those random treats that the coworker brought in for their birthday and they didn't want them in their house anymore, so they brought them into the break room. Rather, instead of choosing that, you choose your kid's birthday party where you're gonna have cake and ice cream and all those kind of things.
And choice is a huge thing of it. I was just talking to someone about this earlier. Like, have that choice. Like, if your goal is to have one treat day a week, and you know you're gonna go to the cities and you're gonna be going to this nice restaurant and you want to have dessert at it, well, every other time dessert comes up during the week, maybe you're like, well, I've already chosen that dessert and I'm looking forward to it. That dessert on Friday or Saturday night that you're looking forward to is always going to taste better than someone's stale 2-day-old birthday cake that they bring to the office.
Right. Yeah. So the thing that's, I think, really important with that too is this idea of choice, right? So you're choosing to do something rather than just like being a feather in the wind and just kind of going wherever things take you. It's just being very deliberate about your choices and owning those choices, and then
right into extreme ownership right there.
It's a great book, Extreme Ownership, Jocko Willink. Look it up. So I think it's good. Anything else you want to touch on that, or
no? But I think like making the choice and owning the choices that you make. I think we all have to be comfortable with knowing like it's okay that I did this, but like owning that you did it and not trying to cover it up or hide it. Because I hate this quote, but it's also very like it does apply. What you eat in private, you wear in public. I am a quiet, I will eat a whole entire pack of Oreos in my car between Walmart and my house. And in case you guys want to know, that's a very impressive feat, but I can do it.
Like the three rows,
I can eat the whole entire thing of Oreos. Disgusting, isn't it?
Impressive.
It is a feat.
No, do you have anything to drink?
No. That fills your stomach up.
It's like the
saltine
cracker sandwich.
It's like something I do so Zach doesn't catch me eating Oreos and yells at me because I shouldn't eat them because they make me feel awful, but I do it anyways.
Isn't that crazy?
That Oreos make me feel so awful.
In general, like things we do as humans, we completely 100% understand that this is going to make me feel like absolute garbage, but yet we feel like the pleasure from that moment is going to outweigh the pain that comes afterwards. Like, but this is like across human nature.
Everything. So like
right?
Really thinking about it, I haven't done that in like since last winter. So hopefully I can make it through this winter. It's not a summer thing, it's like a winter thing. I will not do it because it feels so awful. Besides the fact that you make yourself sick from eating all those cookies, I actually get sick from all the crap.
But it's crazy. Like, but I mean, we laugh about it because it's funny.
It's not funny.
But it's what we like. It's what we do as like humans and as behavior is we almost always prioritize the immediate pleasure over the kind of long-term consequences.
Well, and I also think that's like part of like choosing it and having this like, well, on Saturday I'm going to have this. Like, delayed gratification is huge because we don't get any. Oh, you're going to talk about Asher, aren't you?
No, not about Asher. But you know what the cool thing about that is you get more pleasure from the anticipation of the event than the actual event itself. And so that's where, I don't know, I think it was Tim Ferriss or something, says he schedules a vacation like at certain strategic times during the year because he understands that the anticipation up to that vacation is going to provide him with so much pleasure because you're like thinking about it and all the things you're going to do and it's going to be so much fun.
This has got to be what we need to do in the middle of January.
It's so much better. Like, you get all of the, like, your brain is kind of like creating this reality that you're already there and you're experiencing it and it's awesome. So you're getting all of like the dopamine and all of the feel-good
of
chemical.
Dopamine.
And so you're just riding a high all the way up. And then what happens a lot of times is the vacation really doesn't always like live up to like what you had built it up to in your mind. And so I think with this idea of like choosing to have something on the weekend is like now you get to look forward to it. And you get to almost kind of like feel high and mighty too, because I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna say no to that because I'm gonna have the best cheesecake on the planet this Friday when I go out to eat. And then when you have that food, you kind of like, it's on another level because you've already built it up, and so it tastes that much better. And so we get all the pleasure stuff that we want, but without all the stuff that we don't want. And so, but I think that's just an interesting human concept that we have to just grapple with, is this idea of our importance on immediate gratification versus our importance on long-term delayed thing. You look at like savings is another one. Like savings in the U.S. is atrocious, right? Because I would rather buy that cool thing right now than like put that money in a savings account that gets me 4%. That will turn into more money over time.
Your account gets you 4%?
No, well, no.
I'm like, your savings
My
account?
savings account gives me like 2%.
Okay, I was like.
But like I could put it in the stock market and I can get
maybe
8% over the long term. And so, but like I have to wait 20 years in order for that to be like really cool, right? But right now I could get this new thing.
Do you know what would be more cool? Retiring at 50.
Could be.
Way cooler than.
Like retiring is an interesting thing. Like what? Like when we retire, cool. Like what are you going to do now? Just like sit around and watch TV all day?
I'm going to come to function. I'm probably going to train at functional fitness.
You probably come and like work. Like so. That's for another talk. Maybe we can talk about